So here are the two things I would say to people out there. A, if you do have a spouse or a significant other, maybe you need to, even if they're not in the business, maybe you need to have that tough conversation and say, hold me accountable. Hold me accountable to working. And, I always love telling dads this, when you have kids and you got a wife at home, and I see them at work all day or in the office sitting there bullshitting and talking on Facebook and, doing the things that they shouldn't be doing to get business. And I say, here, you know what? I'll challenge you. Go home and sit down with your wife and your kids every night and tell them what dad did to make money for the day. I go, would you be embarrassed to tell them what you did, or would you be proud?
Yeah.
Accountability. So A, if you have a spouse or a significant other or even a child that maybe is more grown up, let them hold you accountable, because being held accountable by love, that's a big why.
Yeah.
That's a big why. The second is, if you don't have that or they're not willing to do that, find a good coach. It really is who you surround yourself with matters.
It's so important, Chuck. And, you look at kind of that equation, right? Like environment and circumstance drives our thinking, and then our thinking becomes, belief, and then belief, how we feel, and then how we behave, and the results that we get or we don't get. And I'm like, give me to the source, right? Like I don't want to know all these. I'm like, where do I need to start? And it's so important of what you allow around you, what you allow to get to you. And, I love Coach Prime has, his philosophy of, if you disrupt my peace any at all, you are removed from the equation immediately, right? I can't allow 100%. That to happen.
100%, because you got to protect your space, because you're in that zone,
right?
And I say, and the more you live it, year after year after year, the more you recognize it, not just physically, but emotionally. Like, I could feel negative energy. I tell people, I'm at a point in my life, I could not be around a negative person, even if it's my own kid. Right. Seriously.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that as I'm better than them, is I physically can't, I could feel being drained. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden going into, why am I having a bad day?
Yeah.
It's uncanny. When you start to live that way, it does become easier.
Right.
Because it becomes a habit.
But it starts with the people. And then I think like you said, having that and of the commitment, I just have been always of the belief that you don't like commit and figure it out. You figure out what it is that I want to achieve. What do I want? Maybe more importantly, what I don't want, right? I think a lot of people struggle with this grand venture, my goals. What do I want? I'm like, I don't know. Why don't we start with what you don't want? And then we can look at the opposite of that and what that could look like. And then like in real estate, it's like, typically a revenue target where I want to be. Okay, well, how many homes do I need to sell? Let's reverse engineer down to what do I need to do daily within my control? And is that then something I can commit to? Is that something I can go all in on?